Hi there, this is Colin, and in today's lesson, things start getting a little bit more exciting because we start using some of the modules. So today we're going to concentrate on the heading module. So let's head on over to our backend, start Page Builder by clicking on the link in your admin bar. This will take you into the backend, and then we're going to go over to our menu system over here where we can click on Basic Modules. This is going to drop down some choices for you, and the first one we're going to choose is the heading. So I'm going to click on that and drag it out to my page. I can drop this anywhere I want. I can drop it in any of the columns, or I can create a completely new row, but for the sake of this video we're going to drop it in this top column. So as soon as you let go, you're given this option box where we can choose. First of all, let's put our heading in here. So are you ready? Let's type that in there. Okay, so that's going to be our heading. As you can see, it's up here already. You can see it as you type, and I'm going to move that over there for a minute. So that's our heading in. Down below here you can put a link, so if you want to link this to somewhere else you can do that, or you can link to an internal WordPress document or page by typing in the term that you're looking for. So for example, I've got a services page. If you click on that, it will put the link in for you. I'm going to delete that for now, but you then have the option of choosing whether you want to open that in the same window or in a new window. So if you want your link to open up in a completely new tab and keep your website intact, then you need to choose the new window. If you want it to open up in the same page that the viewer is looking at, then we'll choose the same window. Next tab is where things really start to get exciting. So let's click on the Style tab. And the first option we have is to change the text color. As you can see, it's black right now, but we can change that to any color we want by choosing the color picker here. And we're going to choose something like a red so it stands out for you. And there we go. So that's color changed. The next option is the alignment. Currently it's aligned left, but if I change that, we can move it to center. And if I just drop this down a little bit, you'll see it move to the right if I choose the right aligned. Okay, so that's left, center, or right. I'm going to choose the left option right now. Then I've got my choice of tag sizes or header sizes. Currently it is set at H3. So H3 is looking to me like it's a 24 pixel size font. If I want to make that bigger, I can choose H1. And that's going to make it larger. There we go. That's more like a 36. Now these sizes are determined by your theme settings for your H1 through to H6 tags. So H1 in this instance is set at 36. If I go down to H6, it's going to be something very small probably. Yeah, there we go. Something very small. And I'm going to put that back at H1. I want something large. And the next thing we're going to do is look at this font size. So the default size is about 36. I know that's the font size for this particular theme for an H1 tag, but I can override that by clicking on custom. It will default down to 24, but we can override that at 48. Let's make that really big. There we go. And below that we've got the mobile structure. I'd leave this at the default settings if I were you. If you want to do some fine tuning, we'll be looking at the mobile options later on, so I'm not going to mess around with that right now. And on the last tab here is the option to add a CSS class. So if we want to override this with a CSS class, we can put that in here. We can choose to display this on all devices, mobile devices, we've got options for too. I'm going to explain that in another video, so I'm going to leave that always. And then we've got our margins. So we've got margins top, bottom, left and right. They all default to 20. You'll see it's grayed out, but that doesn't mean to say you can't type in it. So if I type in 10 here, for example, you'll notice it pushes it down by 10 pixels instead of 20 pixels. If I delete that there, I go back to 20. If I want to move that across over a little bit and indent it a little bit, I can put something like 40 pixels in. As you can see, it moves over. So I'm going to leave those all at the default. And down at the bottom here are the animation settings that you'll see on most of the modules. So the style for this is I've got all these options. I can fade in, I can slide left, slide right, slide up, slide down, and then I can set a delay, which is the amount of time in seconds before this animation starts. So essentially, when the page loads, how long you want it before the animation starts. I'm going to leave it at default 0 or none option for now, and I'm going to click save. What I'm going to do is then I'm going to add a quick second one, and I'm going to go back into heading. I'm going to drop it down below here. And what I could have done is actually, let's undo that, and we'll do this as the quicker way of doing it, is to click on the duplicate icon, which is the 2 pages. And as you see, when you hover over it, it tells you it's duplicate. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to drop it right below. But I'm going to go in here and make a change really quick to my advanced settings. I'm going to put the bottom margin down to 0. You'll see why I'm going to do this in a minute. And on this one, I'm going to change the style. I'm going to keep it that. I'm going to change this one to an H2 style. Okay, it's going to make that smaller if I click on the default. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here and type something. Actually, we'll do it this way. And there's the question mark you were all waiting for. So I'm going to just drag this over here out of the way. As you can see, I've got this big gap between the two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my advanced settings and I'm going to reduce that top margin to 0, and that pushes it up there. So that is what it looks like as red. I think that will look much better if they're both on black. So I'm going to eliminate the color on the bottom one, click on save, and then I'm going to go up here and click on the eliminate the color on the top one and click on save. That looks much better. So all we need to do now is go up to done and publish changes, and we now have our text headings in there. So that's what you can do with the headings. You can play around with it a little bit more, but that gives you a basic understanding. Some of the advanced settings, like for mobile, I will be covering in future videos. I hope you've got the most out of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye now.